Any ads heard during this episode that are not in our voice are placed by third-party agencies. They should not be considered the opinion of or to be endorsed by Hoosier Myths and Legends.
Welcome to another episode of the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast.
I'm Rebecca Wilhelm.
I'm Mary Quigley.
And I'm Hope Wilhelm.
Join us as we dive into the spookier side of the Hoosier state.
So what comes to your mind when you think of Indiana? Do you think of corn? Do you think of basketball? Do you think of the Indianapolis 500? Maybe you think of famous celebrities who were born in Indiana, like John Mellencamp or Michael Jackson.
But as the saying goes, there is more than corn in Indiana. 92 counties make up the Hoosier state. In this podcast, we are going to discuss some Indiana folklore from each of these counties. If you are into tall tales, ghosts, or spooky legends, then this is a podcast you are not going to want to miss. Today's legend takes us deep into the heart of Orange County, Indiana.
Some places just carry an energy that you cannot quite explain. Listeners, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. The air feels heavier, the halls seem to whisper, and shadows seem to linger just a little too long. In today's episode, we're checking into a hotel where glamour and ghost stories just seem to go hand in hand. The hotel we're discussing today is considered to be one of the most haunted hotels in Indiana. This grand resort has had a long history of gambling, mobsters, and legends of ghostly encounters. Over the years, many guests and staff have reported disembodied voices, strange phantom scents, and even full-bodied apparitions have been seen wandering the halls. So grab your cup of coffee, turn the lights down low, and get ready to settle in as Mary and I discuss the haunted history of the French Lick Springs Hotel.
I have to admit that this is a place that's been on my list to visit for a while.
Oh, absolutely. I've always wanted to stay the night there or over at the West Baden Springs Hotel, which is the one with that big, gorgeous dome.
Yes, that hotel sure looks like something straight out of a fairy tale.
Or maybe a classy ghost story.
Right? I mean, who wouldn't want to spend the night in a town called French Lick? The name alone just sounds something straight out of a Southern Gothic novel.
It really does. And Mary, the town has a really interesting history.
Yes, French Lick was once famous for its mineral springs.
So people would come from all over just to get in the waters.
Well, there was a lot of people who felt these springs held some kind of healing properties to them. So think a luxury wellness retreat with a side of gambling and maybe a ghost or two.
So did you know Larry Bird is from there?
Yes, the hick from French Lick. He's most likely the most famous person to come out of French Lick.
So we're talking about a town that's best known for basketball, the mineral springs, and luxury hotels.
Well, there's a casino there now as well.
Well, there you go. It really has it all. Mary, why haven't we been there yet?
Not sure, but I'm adding it to our list.
So the French Lick Springs Hotel is not just fancy.
It's reportedly haunted.
Now, before we jump into the ghost stories, let's get into the hotel's past.
The French Lick Springs Hotel opened its doors in 1845, which was well before the town of French Lick started. The town would not officially begin until 1857.
Now, it was actually a local physician named Dr. William Bowles who built the first hotel, which was not anything like the Grand Hotel that you will find there today.
The original hotel was 3 stories and wooden.
Now, Dr. Bowles built the hotel to cash in on the mineral springs in the area.
According to the hotel's website, Dr. Bowles was someone that their site refers to as, quote, the original Amazon. He advertised delivery of mineral waters by the barrelful right to your door. It was a lot of work and demand exceeded his capability. That's why he built the hotel. It was easier to let people come to him.
That's really wild to think of.
People flocked to French Lick to soak in the famous mineral springs, which were believed to have healing powers. It was marketed as a health resort, but also as a place for high society to escape, relax, and maybe do a little gambling behind closed doors.
Now, listeners, when we say high society, we're talking presidents, gangsters, and celebrities. The French Lick Springs Hotel attracted them all. The hotel was a symbol of luxury and indulgence in its heyday. But behind all that elegance, there were rumors, whispers of corruption, secret tunnels, hidden parties, and eventually ghosts.
One of the most well-known figures in the hotel's history was Thomas Taggart. He bought the property in the early 1900s and transformed it into a glamorous resort that drew in even more of the elite. He wasn't just a businessman. He was also a powerful politician who eventually became a U.S. senator.
And as you can imagine, Thomas Taggart was deeply connected to this hotel. There are many people who feel that the hotel was his pride and joy.
When we return from a short break, we will discuss why many people believe he never truly left. Are you an Indiana small business owner looking to reach a wider audience?
Consider partnering with the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast directly to advertise your business.
Our listeners are passionate, engaged, and love supporting local businesses just like yours. By advertising with us, you'll connect directly with a community that values what Indiana has to offer.
Promote your business with the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast and watch your customer base grow. Ready to make your mark? Contact us today at HoosierMythsandLegends@gmail.com and let's bring your business to the forefront. We're back.
So a lot of the ghost stories center around phantom smells.
Now, these smells are mostly smelt around the old service elevator.
Guests and staff have reported smelling cigar smoke, which was a smell that is associated with Thomas Taggart. What is even more strange is that he used to use the service elevator.
So according to an October 6, 2017 Indy Star article, people have reported to actually have seen a well-dressed man from another era stepping into the hotel elevator and vanishing before the doors even close. So many people believe that this is none other than Thomas Taggart himself.
There have also been reports of phone calls coming from rooms that are empty.
And some even say that they've heard the faint sounds of music and laughter, like the echoes of these grand parties that Taggart was famous for hosting.
It's as if he's still overseeing the place, making sure it's running smoothly, and maybe checking in on a party or two.
Well, to this day, many people believe Taggart may be gone, but that his presence is very much still felt in the hotel today.
And of course, Thomas Taggart isn't the only spirit said to wander these halls. If you ask around, there's one part of the hotel that even the bravest guests tend to avoid, especially after dark.
Those who are familiar with the ghost stories know that we are, of course, talking about the 6th floor of the hotel.
Yes, the 6th floor is known as somewhat of a hotbed for strange activity.
Mary is known for a lot of paranormal activity.
Well, pretty much if you're staying at the hotel and they tell you that your room is up there, well,
let's just say you might want to sleep with your lights on.
So what's reported is what Becky and I like to call your classic haunting.
You know, footsteps pacing outside your door,
Whispering.
doors that open and close by themselves.
And then there are the shadow people, which I have to admit I find the most terrifying.
I agree with you on that. So over the years, there have been multiple people reported seeing these shadow people or these figures darting across the hallway. This is really creepy, just standing there at the end of the hall. And get this, they will vanish when you try to approach them.
Oh no.
Yeah, definitely a no from this chair.
There have also been reports of a cold breeze passing by or through you, and this happens even when there aren't any open windows or vents near.
And that's almost like something, is moving past you.
Definitely creepy.
And it's not the only area where strange things happen.
There are even more stories, and one of them is truly heartbreaking. We'll be back after a short break. Hey listeners, in case you didn't know, we wrote a book. Haunted Dearborn County, Indiana is now available at all major retailers. Strange and unusual things lurk behind the calm facade of Dearborn County.
Several legends surround the Hill Forest Mansion, the home of one of Aurora's founding families.
Many have seen the ghost of a farmer and his mule at Carnegie Hall in Morse Hill.
The glowing grave at Riverview Cemetery may connect to the 1941 Agru family massacre.
St. Mary's Church Rectory is said to be haunted by the former priest, and the spirits at Whiskey's in Lawrenceburg are not just in the drinks.
Several schools in the area echo with the sounds of former students and staff, and numerous local residences house the spirits of former owners who have never left.
Join Rebecca and I on a chilling tour from Lawrenceburg to Lawrenceville and beyond. Check out HoosierMythsAndLegends.com for more details.
Listeners, if you're still with us and Taggart's cigar smoke and the sixth floor shadows aren't enough, we have a couple more ghost stories from the French Lick Springs Hotel.
Another well-known ghost story involves a bellhop who has been spotted over the years.
Now, he's mostly seen late at night or when the hotel is quiet.
What I found interesting is the reports of him. He's described as a young man dressed in an old-fashioned bellhop uniform.
Now, some guests have reported that this young man tries to help with the luggage, but then he just disappears without a word.
He also has been spotted just standing in the hall.
It's sad. It's like he's waiting for a job.
I think it's very sad. No one quite knows who he is or what might have tied him to the hotel forever.
And we're going to end today's episode with a story that I think is the one that gives me goosebumps, The Bride.
According to a legend, a young woman came to the hotel for what should have been the happiest time of her life. Unfortunately, she was abandoned at the altar. After this incident, she was found in a guest room bathtub where she had tragically taken her own life.
And now, ever since then, guests staying in that room have reported that there is this red stain appearing in the bathtub. Now, housekeeping has tried to scrub it clean, but somehow it always returns.
Others have reported a deep, sudden sense of grief while in the room, waves of sadness with no explanation, and some have even heard quiet sobbing. A few say they've seen a woman in a wedding gown standing silently by the tub.
It's heartbreaking, eerie, and oddly fitting.
Because really, what haunted hotel doesn't have a bride who never made it down the aisle?
Exactly. And at the French Lick Springs Hotel, it seems the past hasn't quite checked out.
Have you ever had an experience at the French Lick Springs Hotel? Are you familiar with the folklore we discussed today? We would love to hear about it. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsAndLegends@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, let us know if you wish to remain anonymous.
To see our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. Hoosier Myths and Legends is a Quigley Productions podcast.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car.
As always, stay spooky.